Welcome to the developer series, IBM developer series. So we usually try to talk on different topics. We have security on Tuesdays. We discuss about data science and AI on Wednesdays, and cloud native and Red Hat OpenShift on Thursdays. So because today is Wednesday, of course, we're going to talk about data. So we will see how we can visualize our data with elegant interactive dashboards. So my name is Khalil Faraj. I'm a developer advocate based in UAE with IBM, and with me I have Mirdal Banhari. He's my colleague, and as well he's a developer advocate based in UAE. So to get started, please click on the link that you see on the screen. As well, you can find it in the button below. So you can see a Get Started action button. It will direct you to a GitHub repositories that have all the information that you're going to use in this webinar, this workshop, and as well it will have all the links that we'll be using. So the first thing is just to sign up or sign in case you have an IBM Cloud account. And as well, there is an additional link. This is our server link, the one on the right. So in case you won't be attending the entire session, we would appreciate if you can just fill the survey before leaving. It's a very straightforward survey, just has a couple of questions. So having said that, let's get started. Today's agenda. We will start by talking first about what data and what is data. And then we move to the core idea about this session, which is data visualization. So why should we use data visualization, and what kind of value does data visualization actually bring to the businesses? And we'll talk about Cognos dashboard, which will be more discussed in the hands-on session with Riddle. And then we'll end by sharing a couple of useful links that can be helpful for you. So what is data? Well, data is basically some useful information generated from a specific process. It can come under different formats, so sensor, geospatial, audio, video. And just data is kind of separated in two different categories. We have the structured and unstructured. So when we're talking about structured data, these are more kind of straightforward data that are easily searchable. They can be like merely, for example, contact numbers, addresses, first name, last name. So these are very useful, especially when we're doing some queries with SQL that we can easily find them. While with unstructured, they can be a bit more complicated. It's not that easy to process them because usually they can come to some audio formats and video formats. It's not easy to work with these kind of formats. These days, most of the companies use data to improve the customer's experience, and we can see this in the most biggest company. For example, Netflix, they provide personalized recommendations. Waze provide a more personalized driving experience, and even now self-driving cars try to use as much as they can data to be able to react to how the car can change it based on specific or different conditions. And of course, we have online ads that we see all the time when we're on social media. So that's why data is everywhere. And this is where we need sometimes to use data visualization. It has a big impact these days. And what is data visualization? It's basically the presentation of the data in a pictorial or graphical format, and help us to understand more about. It can help us understand the data that we're working with to give an idea to our stakeholders that we're trying to do business with. And with that, it can help us to identify some new patterns and some new trends. And why should we use it? Well, first of all, we are visual creatures, and that means that we can understand visual information in an instant. And because we're visual creatures, we can remember visually much faster, and that's why charts or graphs can be processed much faster by the human brain than any kind of other type of information. So with that, we can go ahead and talk about the data visualization value. So data is not just about having some data and getting insights and just show them. It doesn't work like that. Data visualization, it's actually it comes at the core of three main things. Of course, the data they're trying to work with, and the insights they're trying to detect from this data, but most importantly, it's the storytelling. So we always need to make sure that we're trying to tell a story with the findings that we just obtained. So because data can give us a lot of information. So it can tell us more about relationships, correlations, distribution, patterns, and dependencies. So we need to put all of our insights together and make sure to tell a nice story that can attract the stakeholders that we're trying to work with. And of course, there are a lot of different types of charts, of graphs that you can use in data. So it's very essential to learn or to know what to use when. So usually there are four kind of main categories when we're working on data visualization. We have the relationship, comparison, distribution, and composition. And each of these have kind of more specific graph for them. So for example, with composition, we work much more with stacked bar chart or any kind of stack chart, pie chart, a waterfall chart, and tree map. With relationship, we focus on our scatter plot. As for comparison, well, we can use usually the horizontal bar charts, tables, And of course, we can use line chart and bar chart when we're working with some periodic times. And last but not least, we have distribution, where we focus more on histograms, either bar or line, and we can use as well some of Sketch Plus there. So there's a lot of different options that we can try to use with charts, and we'll see now with the middle how we can visualize different kind of data using different charts as well. So it will come in very handy when try to get some more insights for a specific business case. And to do this, we need a specific tool. So in this case, we'll be using IBM Cognos Dashboard. So Cognos Dashboard is basically a visualization tool. It helps us to explore data, to create some dynamic visualization, to customize them, and it has a very easy-to-use interface where we can simply just drag and drop our graphs, our charts, our information that we want to put there and to visualize them in a very easy way. So we'll see now in a bit how we can actually do that with Myrtle. So for our today's workshop use case, it will be a very straightforward one, very basic, where we're going to visualize some marketing campaign data to get some more information about the customer. So we'll be using customer demographics, so we can see so we can kind of target them based on these campaigns. And we'll be using two main technology with that, which is Watson Studio, and where we're going to do our visualization there using Cognos Dashboard. So that, I believe, I'm sure you all want to go ahead with the hands-on session, so that's why our 3 report is very short today. We're going to spend almost some time on the workshop session, so please make sure to register first on the IBM Cloud account. This is the first link that you can see, the Viz data. And you can use the second link, which will be our hands-on link, so you can follow along with the middle, because this is kind of the tutorial that we'll be using in today's workshop session. So Riddle, I'll hand it to you right now. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Khalid. Just a minute, I'll just start sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm sharing. My screen is visible, right?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much, Khalid. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you're all safe and doing well. So before we get started with the hands-on session, I would like you to register on this link for the IBM Cloud account, that is ibm.biz/visdata. So Khalil will share this link in the chat, so you can go ahead and sign up on this link. And you can also follow along for the hands-on session. You can visit this link, ibm.biz/visdatalab. You can go to this link, and to see the GitHub repository where we have uploaded the resources, you can just click on the click to action button, which says workshop resources. This will be there on the Crowdcast screen. And if you want to view this slides, you can go to this link. The slides have been uploaded, so you can view them if you want to refer to them later. And Khalil will share all these links with you in the chat. So now let's get started. So first, I'll show you, let's sign up for the IBM Cloud account. So I'll copy this link and I'll open a new tab and I'll paste it here. So it's ibm.biz/visdata. So once this loads, so I already have an account, so I can log in with that. But if you do not have an account, you can go to this link and you can create an account. So all you have to do is enter your email ID, a password. You'll get a verification email. So you just need to enter the code, and then your account is ready. So it'll take hardly a minute to set up an account. It is very easy, and it requires very minimal information to sign up. So you can go ahead and sign up on this link. And the hands-on tutorial I told you, if you want to follow along, you can go to ibm.biz/visdatalab. This is the link. You can copy this link. It'll be there in the chat, and you can go ahead and you can paste it, and you can see the tutorial will load. So this is the hands-on session. So you can follow along. You can go to this link, and the slides are on the link I've shared with you. So we have all the resources over here. So you can scroll. You can go up, go down, and you can go to the slides, and you can refer to them at your convenience. So all the links are also over here, listed over here. So you can go onto this link and you can check it out. And the GitHub link is already there. The repository link is there. So I'll just open the GitHub repository, and we'll start downloading the data set we'll use today. So once you click on the workshop resources button, it'll take you to this link, and you can download this repository, or you can just specifically download the data set. So this is bank_customers_data.csv. which is what we'll be utilizing today for the dashboard. You can open this and you can click on download specifically just for the CSV file, or you could just go on code. You can download the code. You can download the zip file, or you can download using a terminal as per your preference. So that's how you get started, and you download the data set. So till the time you're signing up, let's go through the data set. I'll take you through the data set. So yeah, I'll just give it a few seconds for it to load. And so yeah, so I hope you can see my screen. If you cannot, just message in the chat, and Khalid will let me know if you're not able to see my screen. So if you see the data set over here, so we have a customer data set from Portugal, and this was available on bigml.com. So we're utilizing this data set today. So if you see this data set, it just consists of general profiles of customers, and how likely are through this we are trying to see how likely are they going to sign up for a term deposit. So I'll just one second. Yeah, I'll just remove this. Yeah, so I hope you can see it. It's better now. So you have this general data like age, the job profile, the marital status, the education, the balance, whether he owns a house or not, and whether he has a loan for the house or not. And you have these various other columns, and whether he has the term, whether he already has a term deposit or no. So you have this kind of a data set where you have all this data about the customer, and this really helps the sales representatives from the bank to understand and to push to contact the right person who would be interested in that particular product, or in our case the term deposit. He's most likely to create a term deposit to put his money. And it's very important because these banks, they use these term deposits we make, and they give us an interest, and they give it to the loans to organizations or other people, and they give it an interest. So the interest, it's a very important business model for them. So they want to just target the right set of people, and have them sign up for term deposits. So you have this this data set about the customers over here. So there are a lot of records over here, and there are few attributes here. So this is just a sample data set, and this is to understand how to create dashboard. I believe you're all signed up for an IBM Cloud account by now, and I'll just show you what we're going to be creating today. So if you see this, so this is how we're going to create a dashboard, and this will look like this. So we're going to try to replicate this dashboard, and this dashboard is shareable. So the link is there in the GitHub repository. So you can go to the GitHub repository, and on the side you can see dataplatform.cloud. So you can just click on this link, and this dashboard would open up. So you can always use this for reference. So this is what we'll be creating today, the dashboard. Now, so I believe you're all signed up for an IBM Cloud account. So once you sign up and you log in, you'll come to this page. So this is just a dashboard for the IBM Cloud account you have. So you can over here you can see like you have these options where you can see how tutorial on how to create a custom dashboard. So you can go to this link and you can check it out. If you're interested in watching machine learning and Watson Studio, so you could go to this and you could see some models which have been visualized, and there's some open source code that's been used, and you can go through that and understand how we use machine learning using Watson Studio, and how the process works. And then you have some analytics engine from IBM which you can try it out. So again, you can go to this link. It's a 10-minute tutorial, so you can try it out. It's very small, and but gives you a really good idea on how to use the services and get familiarized yourself with the environment over here. And we have some various other tutorials. Then over here we have the resource summary. So for me, we have some I have some resources created, so that's why I have some numbers. Otherwise, it would be zero for you, or there would be any display over here. Just show uh, the resource summary, so you can see what all services have been created. And then we have some news regarding the updates for Watson IBM Watson Cloud services. So you can go out and check them out. What is the update? And you can see all those stuff here, news and then tutorials and all that. So yeah, now let's start with a hands-on tutorial. So the first thing we need to create is a Watson Studio service. So which is also known as Cloud Prep for Data as a Service. So what you could do is you could go over here in the search bar, and you could type down Watson Studio, and it should load the catalog results. So if you see the catalog results, you should have Watson Studio over here. So you just go to the search bar, write down Watson Studio, and then you see the under catalog results, you see the Watson Studio service created. And if you have already used IBM Cloud and you have an IBM Watson Studio service running, you'll see the names of the services which have already been created. So in our case, I'll open the catalog result. So the Watson Studio from catalog results. And once you click on that, page should load. So let's give it a few seconds. Yes. So we have this page which has loaded, and over here you can see the service name. You can see the about documentation. If you go to about, you can understand what Watson Studio is, and you can read about all the Watson Studio service, and there's the features, and what are the advantages of using Watson Studio. Then we have a small tutorial. We have small tutorial videos you can browse and you can check them out to understand how Watson Studio helps you for your data and AI capabilities. So we go to the create menu, and then the first option we have to select is location. Preferably we go for Dallas. So you can go for Dallas. That's the region we select. It's already been selected for us. It's the default region. And then you go to the pricing plan. So you just need to select the light plan for today. You don't need to put your credit card details or anything. So you can just select this for today, and this is all we require for work hands-on tutorial today. So you don't need to go for a standard or premium plan or enterprise plan. So you can go click on this. No need to enter any credit card information. But there's a limit with this. So you have this 50 capacity unit hours as a monthly limit. So be careful. So if you're using the light version, so try to utilize them, appropriately so that you don't exhaust it. And it renews every month. So you'll have to wait for the next month. And so you go scroll a bit down and you have the service name. Over here, you could change the Watson Studio service name, what you would like to give. Like you would give your name, or like I can give my name, or I could give according to the project where you're trying to build today. So like marketing campaign or whatever you like. So whatever name you want to give, you can give it over here in the service name. And over here, the resource group should be default. It's already been selected. If not, just select default, and then you're good to go. So you can click on create. So if you already have a light Watson Studio service existing, you cannot create another one. So you can go and search for that and utilize that. Or if you haven't created, you can click on create. So it will display a message over here if you already have a light service which is being created. So I've already created a service. So I'll go and open my existing service. And for the people who have already, an existing service, they can also follow what I'm doing now. And for people who are creating, you can just click on create and wait for the page to load. So I'll go to the menu button and I'll click on resource list. So when you click the resource list, so this has a list of all the resources that have been, created. So you can go ahead and search over here. So even for if you've created a service, you can just go ahead and search for the name. So I have a service created and I'll search for that. So I search for that and I have the service created and I open that up. So now once this page opens,
Okay, I think Myrtle is having some lagging maybe. I will be right back. No, it's frozen, so it's not just you, Anthony. He'll be right. He'll get back. So yeah, everyone. I think he's. Yeah, we'll just refresh and he'll be back again. So meanwhile, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us, or if you have any comments or anything, while waiting for Myrtle to join again. And by the way, for any new joiners, we have some questions. If you can answer them on the poll, so feel free to answer these as well.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, we can hear you back.
Khalil, sorry about that. I'm really
Yeah, no
sorry.
worries, no
I don't
worries,
know why my
no
network
worries.
disconnected. What was the last thing you saw? I'll continue from there.
It was this screen on the Watson Studio when you were uh, the first when you just created the service, and that's it. I think this is from my side.
Okay,
I'm not
so
sure if any. Yeah,
so what is okay? So I'll start from the service creation,
just
just
from
to
the service
recap.
creation. Exactly. Yeah, just from there.
Okay, I'll start from there. Just a minute. I'm just sharing my screen, and I hope you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can
Hello.
see it. Yeah, we can see it.
It's clear, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll start again from the service creation part. So in
yeah.
case you have missed, I'm really sorry about the network disruption. We'll start over. No issues. So we go ahead and in the search bar, we search for Watson Studio, and in the catalog results, we select Watson Studio. Once we come to this page, so if you want to read about Watson Studio, you want to read the documentation about that, you can go ahead and click on About, and you can read about Watson Studio. You can see the various features, and there's some tutorial videos that have been uploaded for your reference. So you can go ahead and play those, and get familiarized with Watson Studio, and see the advantages of using Watson Studio. So that is about in the About section. Then we head over the Create section, and the first thing we have is to select a location. Now, for select location, we preferably go for Dallas. So you can select that. That's been selected by default. You can go ahead and you can select that. Or if not, if you're based on any of the other regions, you can select that region. We go for Dallas, and then we have the pricing plan. So in the pricing plan, we'll go for the light plan because that's all we require for today for a hands-on tutorial. You do not require anything more than a light plan. We also have a standard and an enterprise plan, but that is not required for today's hands-on tutorial. And you do not need to worry about entering your credit card details because it will not ask you. So you can just click on select light, and you can scroll a bit down, and you can give your service a name. Now this name could be anything, whatever you like to give. It could be your name, like I'll give my name, suppose, Mridul, or I could give the project name which we're trying to build today, like marketing dashboard. So you can give any sort of name you want to give to your Watson Studio service, and it'll appear here, it'll change here, and the resource group should be default. So you just select if it's already selected. If not, just select default, and you can go ahead and click on create. Uh, if you have already created the Watson Studio Lite service, it will not allow you to create another light service. So my suggestion would be to go ahead and utilize the existing service. I'll show you how to do that. And so you can click on create. As I've already created a Watson Studio service, I'll be utilizing that, and I'll show you for the people who have already created, you can follow the steps I'm doing right now. So you can go to the menu button over here, and you click on resource list. Yes. So once you go to the resource list, you have the search bar over here. So you can go ahead and you can search for the service name. So you can either filter it using the name or the group, location, etc. So we'll use the name. So I'll go ahead and search for the service I've already created. So it's Watson Studio Riddle. So I'll click on this. So now, yeah, I'll take a second to load. Yeah. So now this page should be same for everyone, whether you have created a service now or if you have an already existing service. So it was just a matter of creating the service or utilizing an existing one. So we have opened the page, and if you again want to read, if you still want to look for Watson Studio documentation, you can go ahead. You can click on this documentation over here. It'll show you how to the various tools and features available in Watson Studio, and how you could perform a variety of data and AI tasks in Watson Studio. So you can go ahead and click on documentation if you want to read more about Watson Studio. Next, we have the gallery over here. So over here we have the sample projects, notebooks, and datasets which have been uploaded for your reference. So you can go ahead, you can check them out, you can run them to understand how the process works, how Watson Studio works, and how those various services work. So you can get familiarized by running these sample projects, notebooks using these datasets available here. So once you're done with that, you can just click on Get Started over here. I hope you're you have all caught up, you have all understood, how to create a service. If not, let me know, I'll repeat it all again. So I click on get started. So a new tab will open and this take a few seconds to load. So yeah, just let's give it a few seconds to load. Right. So once the page loads, you have a welcome message over here, and you have this, you have some guided tutorials you can learn by. So you can go ahead, click on this, like take a guided tutorial that is learn by example. You can, there's a step-by-step documentation for projects, for business problem, for specific business problems also. So you go ahead, you can try them out, you can understand how it works. That gives you an idea of how to even execute if you have a problem, and how it leads towards the solution. So you can take the guided tutorial, you can go ahead with that. Then second is to create a project, which I'll be showing you how to do. So this is where you create a project and you can collaborate with other team members. So if you're working in a team and you want to collaborate and work, so you can create a project, you can send them, you can add them as a collaborator, and you can all access all the resources you have been uploaded and all the Watson data and AI capabilities available on Watson Studio. And so if you want to create a service, you can just click on this and you can go ahead and do that. So over here, if you scroll a bit down, you see the recent projects that I've been working on. So you can go ahead and check them out. And if you have some, you can go ahead and see, and you can open. There'll be a list available here, and you can view all the projects. So these are just the first 5 projects which are listed here, and you can see the expanded list by clicking on view all. And then we have the services we have created. So I've created, so that's the list available over here. And then you have some notifications. So as you work with different people on different projects, so if they have some updates, you can see the notifications all over here. So it gives you an idea, what's been updated, what's been the update from this person, some information about the project. And again, you can over here, as I mentioned, the gallery, the sample projects, you can go ahead and click it over here. You can go ahead and check them out. So next, let's create a project. So you click on the menu button over here and you click on view all projects. So now this will show you the list of projects. So we'll create a new project. So over here you can see the list of collaborators, the storage service it's using, and the role that I've been assigned to for each of those projects, and who was the creator, and the date it was created. So we have all this projects created in the list over here. So you can go ahead and click on new project on over here. So once you click on new project, you'll have 2 options. Either you want to create a project from a sample file, a sample, or you want to create an empty project. So let's start by creating an empty project for today. So we click on create an empty project. And then, so first thing I recommend is we'll add a cloud object storage service. So I already created one. So it shows this name of the service created. If not, you can just click on add a storage service, click on that, and then it'll lead to this page. I'll just open that page for you. So if you search object storage over here, and you click on object storage here. So once you click, so it's like a similar page, for creating a service as we had for Watson Studio. So once you click over here, so you have this option of creating a light service, or you can go for a classic one. Light service is sufficient for our hands-on tutorial today. So you can click on that, and you can click on create. I have already created one, so I'll not be creating another one. So you can click on this create, and once you come to this page, you can click on refresh. So the second option will be to refresh. I'll have the name of the cloud object storage service. You can select that from the drop down menu once you've created the service. And let's give our project a name till then. So let's say marketing campaign insight.